Testing, testing. Okay. Hey him, how's it going? How you doing tonight? Pretty good, thanks for asking. The weekend, as always, but got some time to myself. Hop back on stream and let's make more stuff. Dur- dur- I don't like the way I have that set up. What's in room one? Okay, so then let's do test, and then this one will have a background. Okay, back open in room one. Let's do a teleport. Don't expect this to work, but and corrected. Hey, Half, how's it going? It is me. It is I should say. It is I. Oh, whoa. What did it say? That. What the heck? Alright, so the this game again. 6 by 144. So let's add the new that times 144. Gotta make a new tile set. You're sleepy? You should go to bed. You should never fight sleep. My opinion. Which is a odd advice to give to the dev community. Yeah, it's midnight. Go to sleep. I mean, I love having you. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Fight it. 9:25. It's 9:25 where I am as well. So I guess the transitions do work just fine. Okay, so I guess let's start on a new. Call this one exterior. I wish I could. I've got no time during the day. I've got 3 kids, and you would just hear just screaming and yelling and banging the entire stream, and then you would just hear like, "Dad, Dad, Dad, what are you doing? Dad, come play with us. Dad, Dad." So I want to make sure that while they're at the age where not only am I able to play with them, but they still want me to play with them, that I'm not just, back stern to them just on the computer all day. So, but I would love to stream more during the day. I just don't think it's possible, which is fine. Okay, so as for floors, let's see. Now, this is now yours. So there's going to be, let's just wipe this. I don't think I can reuse anything really. These boards, I guess, but actually let's keep those. Let's keep this ladder. Let's keep the chest. Let's get rid of the chimney. The ladder you can keep. So these are going to be my animated tiles. We'll keep the pots and pans. Or the pots, not the pans. We'll get rid of the roof. This. Any of these floor tiles. Side for the interiors. Popped up oddly. Oh. It highlight that way. I must have drug it, not realized. Now I have one floor configuration. Also double as a dungeon interior. I'm off palette for this like orangey color. Okay, cool. Each of these can feature like a tile in the middle. But I didn't lay these out very well. Okay, so let's focus on some floors, right? So I see a lot of different here. Standard floor. Might have to like pick and choose which ones I. You're doing a lot of stuff recently. What have you been doing recently? About it. There. Darker variations on the bottom. Learning Godot, awesome. Did the Nokia Jam, went to farmer's market today. That's great. All of those things. I don't know about the Nokia Jam. I do know about Godot, and I certainly know about farmer's markets, so that sounds like a pretty cool day to me. I don't need a bush. Nicely. Godot is amazing. I really like Godot. I told myself, I wouldn't learn another 2D engine. I'm perfectly happy with GameMaker. I don't really see the point. But I don't want to do GameMaker's 3D, so uh, I familiarized myself with Godot in order to do 3D stuff, and it's very good at what it does. Class in school where you're learning Python, you're teaching yourself C++. I don't know if I should just stick with Python or try and learn both. Uh, Keep in mind you don't have to be a master in either one, right? You just have to be familiar with it, or just like any other language, like you have to know enough to Google the rest of it. That's always an approach too. It's always exciting learning a new engine too, and the hardest part, at least for me, about learning a new engine was like going back to GameMaker and like losing all the cool features of Godot that they have. Like the node system just makes sense to me. Like that's a really cool thing that they did. That many animated tiles, so I think I can catch that short here because I think all these are really important. And then I actually started self. How do you feel about your entry in the Nokia Jam? Self? Fun. You lost team at the end, but submitted something mostly finished. Good. I think that's all that's you're meant to do in game jams, right? It's to like do your best, have fun, try and finish, try and have something presentable, I should say at least. Always easy. Rug pieces. Do you play any sports when you were younger? No, well, that's a lie. I played soccer, but you don't want me out in the field. I am wildly not athletic at all. Um, I was into lifting weights. I was very good at building strength very quickly, but I had no like athletic ability, unfortunately. All my friends are athletes. My kids are all athletic. I am not by any stretch of the imagination. What sports did you, I assume you played by that question then when you were a kid, what sports did you play? Keep. We already did this fireplace chunk. How big are my rooms? Uh, it just depends. This is interior one I'm just doing is like one camera size, so it's like 256 wide. This one is just a test room here. Again, it's just, I don't know, it's like, what's that, 5 rooms across? Like 5 screens across. This is just all for testing. But I imagine the rooms can get extremely large before I would experience any kind of slowdown. It's a very simple project. Crazy tricks. I don't even have like instance deactivation things going on here yet. So we got a little sink thing. Okay, yeah, I was like, I had all this stuff somewhere else. What do we think? Uh, Moiti in soccer? Oh, Mai Tai? Just, my brain's not braining. What do we think Yo-Yo is gonna add better rooms sizing? I don't. I don't think we're gonna get it at all, ever. and I'm not being sarcastic. I don't think we're gonna. I think we're gonna get plugins, and then someone else is gonna make a better room editor. Actually, what I think. They're all a mess. These tiles are a mess. I'm gonna lose track of like done already. Okay, so we have these two. We have all this stuff in the middle. We have the stairs. We've got the furniture. I think we're done actually. At this. This one's confusing me. Gotta stop doing it. Alright, so what this is. I have an animated tile. I can flip animated tiles, right? I think I can flip a tile. Cards have anchor points and stuff. What I consider Zelda 1 a Metroidvania? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Truth be told, I don't get super wrapped up into like how to classify the games. I just like playing them, right? Like whether you think it is or it isn't doesn't change the fact that you liked Zelda 1 or you didn't, right? So I'm all about having fun. I don't I don't think too much into the craft and the, you know, the more minor parts of making games by giving everything a label. I think it's important to talk about like it's a game about exploration and adventure and then kind of leave it up from there. All right, him. Thanks for joining the stream. Always appreciated. Come say hi again, hopefully tomorrow. All right, so the best way to start using these or start figuring it out is just to use it, right? Best Zelda 1 was the best TTRPG. I don't know what that means. I'm really bad at the TTRPG tabletop role playing game. Dungeons and Dragons. Interior. Select the interior for that. Let's give this a tile layer called tiles. Interior. Let's also give it one called vision. Also be the interior. So what we're doing here is first we'll use tiles to set the background. Background's not supposed to be like true black. It's 51515. 151515. All right. Now in the tile layer, we can block out the room. I kind of want to make it go like big house, but I'm gonna roll with it just because we're learning. I have this under tiles, but these should actually be the collision layer because we don't want him to pass through the walls. I grew up playing Zelda 1. I really like Zelda 1. I have to say it didn't age well. Whenever I have to go back and play it, it's always like ugh, like this is just really not fun anymore in my opinion. Like I respect it immensely for paving the way for all the other games and all the other adventures that we have today, but I just don't think it's that fun anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Brown is different. God. Oh, maybe I have to do like a dark entryway or like get a dark like doorway tile. Maybe that's something that I'm missing. That's why this process is really good because you really have to know like what you're missing. UI, UI, so we can select the character. Good night, good night, good night. See you soon. Thanks for joining. Always a pleasure. Link to the Past, the best retro. I love Link to the Past. I actually, unsurprisingly enough, I can't decide if I like the original Link's Awakening or Link to the Past more, but I have absolutely put in so many hours into both of those games. That is for sure. File layer. My favorite Zelda game is Wind Waker, and then Link to the Past or Link's Awakening. I have a hard time deciding, and then maybe Majora's Mask after that one. And then yeah, I am too actually. Zelda 2 is up there quite a bit for me. Zelda 2 was the first game I was almost 5 years old and I beat Zelda 2 for the first time. I remember my brother being like flipping out. My brother's who's like 7 years older than me, 6 years older than me, was like jumping off the walls. He's like, "I cannot believe you just beat this game on your own. Like this game is hard. It's not for kids. Like, oh my goodness." But it's just because I played it so much. I knew where everything was. Like I had died millions of times. I memorized the game and I memorized where every character was. Like that's all there was to it. It was just repetition. But I do remember. Yeah, it's a fun fact. I can say the first game that I ever completed was Zelda 2, which yeah, it wasn't easy. It's not an easy game. Um, but for my little brain, it was. I was just obsessed with it. If we'll animate an animation with four. We'll go one tiles in the collision layer. This my day job. I have a boring desk job, office worker. I do a lot of spreadsheets and that kind of stuff. Danvich, hello, how's it going? Yeah, come on in. I put it over. But either this needs to be like offset off one, like pushed up against the wall. think should be the same too. Oh yeah, it is. It just leans over one. We're deciding what tiles we need by and like designate this as like, oh, this is the dining room area in here. I think we also have something to houses in Zelda games aren't this large. I don't think. Kind of interesting, right? Definitely divides out the house. So I'll have to remember like houses should be pretty small. They tend to be a little bit awkward if I big here. Many. Now that we have that divided out, what should this next to the room? They should have a couple bookshelves. Tile layer though. Books, like little drawer. I have this like thing for a shelf they could put next to their bed. Or maybe that should be above the dresser. In the kitchen. Oh look, and then we can put, let's do this. Let's do that up on the wall in between. It's actually table. We got a lot of verticality to it, so maybe doing something of you don't need to even get back there, right? So have this, you could put like a window. Yeah, yeah. Let's do side, I guess. Front. A nice little Zelda house, right? I think so. This, and then target will say room one. We need to have a system for okay. Nice, look at that. We got a little, nice little Zelda room. It's not perfect, but then we got some interior tiles. There's some things we need to fix in terms of like depth. I guess that's technically fine, but it doesn't feel fine. Should be on a half tile. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that though. Oh, shoot arrows in the house. I just when everything like first lands. It like bounces. So I think I gotta do that grounded to true. Doesn't call the land function. Yep. Better. Kind of cool. I'm digging the vibe. Need to have a lot more details that separate this out though, but I think right now it's just about blocking out. Look at this little black pixel down in this corner on each one. I gotta fix that. Also on all the interior tiles, there's a wall color that's wrong. There. Oh yeah, look, everything was like shifted in the wrong color. It lined it up though. Don't think I like it, but check the palette. A little bit less saturated. Alright, I guess I got a problem with that. Also have to I think it's important to have this like darker version of this tile. What I'm gonna do is change this one. Darker like that. This here. Put this here. Same thing. That. Oh yeah. Why I wanted that is because now I can do, well, okay, so technically if I had this light, I can do this tile as dark. Against like the wall. Add a little bit more dimension. Right. Expected behavior to go like all around it. I do think that's interesting, isn't it? To do like a fake kind of lighting. It's actually really adds a lot of depth. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, the exterior tiles. Oh, I already got a house on here. Okay, so let's house is clearly too big. Let's copy this out. Here, collision. That's right, it's like there's only one. How does the Zelda games do it if it's not off-centered by one tile in the middle? Do you not go in the direct center? Way across two. Very interesting. Here. A chest by their bed. That makes sense to me. Trapdoor into the basement's over here. Like like a little like a gray fenced off thing. It's okay. So let's do this for now. Is that a house? I guess technically that is a house. Okay, yeah, let's roll with that for a moment. Right here. Not a thing. Walk in there, which is fine. This being the collision, I need to be under tiles. I'm in this little house interior. That's on the collision layer, but it shouldn't be. This got a little world you can explore. It's kind of cool. I noticed with the teleport, if I'm exactly on it, on zone inside, it should be. Works. We've done interiors. Oh, we do need to focus a little bit more on interiors. We'll save this probably for tomorrow because we're coming up on our hour here. Oh, okay, so we did water detection. Not exactly, actually. We just did water. Did waterfalls. Water animation. We didn't do the charge boat today. That's okay. We got a ton done. Let's see. Today we did interior tiles, transition. Still have to do layer positioning, object. Tomorrow, let's add another thing on here. We need to be able to charge the bow rather than just shoot it. We need to have things detect if there's water. So then as part of that, we'll do like a water overlay effect. You know, like when you're in something wet, how it makes that like line around your feet to make it look like you're in water. Waterfalls, transition player. So it'll take your, once you start entering a building, you'll like start to walk faster and move slower on your own without the input, and then you'll transport over and you'll be able to like move into the room and then walk up a little bit. And then the sensor object is something that the mission package used, but has been updated a really long time. So I would like to get back on that. Secret waterfall entrance. You know what I do need though is like a white line here to show the difference between here's where the water is on the top level, and then like here's the cliff side. Because it reads as a waterfall, but it needs that line, that like really sharp white line to side. Okay. Well, I think that's that for tonight, anyways. Short bursts of productivity is better than none at all. So I appreciate you